From the shadows of the Galactic Empire emerged ruthless hunters dedicated to eradicating the Jedi, the Imperial Inquisitors, but their reign of terror was far from invincible. In this journey through time, we'll witness how overconfidence, betrayal, and rebellion spelled doom for these dark side enforcers. It all begins with one early encounter that foreshadowed the cracks in the Empire's iron grip, and sparked a legacy that would ignite resistance across the galaxy. Sixth Brother. The Sixth Brother was one of the earliest Imperial Inquisitors to die, falling around 18 BBY during the Rada Uprising. He wasn't some unstoppable Sith Stormtrooper combo. Overconfidence and underestimating local resistance destroyed him. But here's the kicker. He didn't fall to Darth Vader or some mysterious Jedi assassin. He was taken down by Ahsoka Tano, the former Jedi leading the rebellion on Rada. The official story is simple. Sixth Brother hunts Ahsoka as part of the Empire's ruthless Jedi purge. But this encounter flips the script. Instead of running, Ahsoka fights back and kills him in a duel that echoes beyond just the fight. The game-changing detail. She repurposes parts of his corrupted Inquisitor saber to forge her pure white sabers, symbolizing her break from both Jedi and Sith. His death marks cracks in the Empire's Jedi hunting monopoly. The Inquisitors, despite their fearsome reputation, weren't untouchable. The Rada event foreshadows the rebellion and surviving Jedi pushing back. The Sixth Brother's fall laid the groundwork for the spark Ahsoka would later fan. But if you think his fate was grim, wait until you hear about the 10th Brother's even stranger end. 10th Brother. The 10th Brother's death is one of the most ironically tragic moments in Imperial Inquisitor history. Once Jedi Master Prosit Dibs, he turned against the Jedi Council during the Clone Wars, criticizing their role and growing disillusioned. By 18 BBY, he had fallen to the dark side and become an Inquisitor, joining Darth Vader on a mission to Mon Cala to hunt a surviving Jedi. Here's the kicker. During that mission, the clone troopers assigned to the Inquisitors suddenly turned on them. Order 66 was meant to wipe out Jedi, but these clones betrayed their supposed masters and attacked the Inquisitors instead. The reasons remain unclear, but it shows the Empire's control over its forces was far from perfect. So the 10th Brother wasn't killed by a heroic lightsaber duel or Vader's wrath, but by the soldiers meant to enforce the Empire's will. His death was not just a casualty, but a systemic betrayal. The Empire's iron grip was paper-thin beneath the surface. This failure exposed a fatal flaw in the Empire's control: reliance on clones who could turn at crucial moments. The same army that destroyed the Jedi could implode from within. We have solid canon proof from comics about Prosit's descent and his ironic end. He shows how even the Empire's secret weapons could be undone by their own soldiers. A fallen Jedi destroyed not by rebels, but by his own Empire's shaky loyalty. If you thought one Empire killer was grim, wait until you hear about the 13th Sister. 13th Sister. The 13th Sister, aka Iskatakaris, isn't just another Inquisitor who died in some skirmish. It's a brutal lesson in Sith intolerance for anything that looks like a weakness. She was a former Jedi Knight turned Imperial Hunter who killed 3 Jedi on her first mission, proving she could get the job done. But here's the thing, her emotional attachment was her fatal flaw. She fell in love with fellow Imperial agent Twi'lek Yaluna, exactly the kind of deadly weakness Darth Vader can't tolerate. Sith doctrine demands ruthless loyalty, not intimacy. Once Vader discovered their relationship, it triggered a brutal purge. Love wasn't just forbidden, it was a death sentence. The chase across Coruscant is legendary. After a mission helping kill Jedi Master Eth Koth, Vader caught them near Inquisitorius headquarters, sparking a chaotic pursuit through the city's underlevels. They even knocked Vader down with a speeder, a rare moment where an Inquisitor and partner got the upper hand on a Sith Lord. But it was brief. Vader's Force mastery quickly ended the run. He froze both lovers and executed them instantly. No trial, no mercy. Their deaths weren't because they failed their Jedi hunting mission, but because love compromised their loyalty. This wasn't about results, it was about fear and total obedience. Imperial records and narrative scenes confirm their relationship and Vader's cold kill. It's an unflinching example of Sith zero tolerance for emotional bonds. In the Inquisitorius, love meant death. The 13th Sister and Yaluna's fate proves even success can't save you if you're soft. And if you think that's harsh, wait until we get into the Second Sister's story. Second Sister Trilla Suduri, better known as the Second Sister, wasn't just another Imperial Inquisitor. She was a tragic story wrapped in vengeance and broken loyalty. Once a Jedi Padawan under Siri Junda, she survived Order 66, only to be captured and tortured by the Empire. The trauma shattered her, twisting her into an Inquisitor obsessed with hunting survivors like Cal Kestis. Around 14 BBY, she relentlessly chased Cal across the galaxy, culminating in a brutal showdown on Noor inside the dreaded Fortress Inquisitorius. Before you write her off as simply evil, hear me out. Trilla's fall to the dark side is fueled by deep betrayal, a rightful anger toward her former master Ciri, who abandoned her during Order 66's carnage. She lashes out as much from pain as allegiance to the Empire. What makes her death so striking is its moment of near redemption. After Cal defeats her, there's a flicker of hesitation, a crack in her hardened facade. Here's where it gets dark. Darth Vader himself arrives, and instead of sparing her, he personally executes Trilla for this very weakness. Vader's zero-tolerance policy for mercy or wavering loyalty is underscored brutally. Trilla never gets the chance to choose the light again. Her death is the Empire's message. No compassion allowed under Sith rule. Her execution in the heart of the Fortress Inquisitorius isn't just symbolic. It reveals how unstable and ruthless the Empire's internal order truly is. Even their greatest Jedi hunters face sudden death if they falter. The Jedi. Fallen Order games' cutscenes give us the clearest window into her story, blending canon lore with gameplay to highlight her complex, painful downfall. Trilla Siduri's fate is a haunting echo of what happens when trauma meets tyranny. Her brief glimpse of redemption crushed beneath Vader's cold blade. If you think that's grim, wait until you hear about the Ninth Sister's unrelenting hunt and violent end. Ninth Sister. The Ninth Sister, Masana Tide, is the ultimate example of brutal persistence through pain, but that endurance only got her so far. A former Jedi Knight turned Inquisitor, she spent years hunting Cal Kestis, one of the few surviving Jedi after Order 66. But the cost was high. Early in their chase, Masana lost her right eye, then her left leg, yet she refused to quit. Injured but unbowed, she kept pursuing her prey across the galaxy. Before you write her off as invincible, hear me out. Masana's repeated injuries aren't a sign of unstoppable power, but of her expendability. The Empire used Inquisitors like tools, weaponizing their toughness but discarding them once they slowed down. Despite her size and strength, the Ninth Sister's stubborn refusal to change tactics or respect her own limits left her vulnerable. Cal wasn't a trembling novice for long. Over the years, he grew stronger, smarter, and more in tune with the Force. Her final stand happened on Kashyyyk in 14 BBY during a brutal duel with the fully empowered Cal. Having survived a previous fall during their hunt, Masana faced him one last time in the dark Wookiee forests. This time, her injuries proved fatal. Cal killed the Ninth Sister decisively, ending the saga of the relentless but ultimately outmatched hunter. Her story shows that Inquisitors were expected to bleed and break while serving the Empire's dark purpose. Masana Tide's saga, marked by losses that would cripple others, highlights the deadly mix of endurance and strategic blindness. Inquisitors weren't immortal Dark Lords. They were brutal enforcers whose bodies paid the price for Imperial ambition. If the Ninth Sister's resilience shows the cost of loyalty, the Third Sister's story reveals how obsession and betrayal bring a different kind of downfall. Let's move on. Third Sister. Reva Savander, known as the Third Sister, isn't your typical Imperial Inquisitor. Her story isn't just blind loyalty, but betrayal wrapped in vengeance. She infiltrates the Inquisitorius with a secret goal to assassinate Darth Vader, the man who slaughtered her fellow younglings during Order 66. That makes her a ticking time bomb inside the Empire's most feared ranks. Before you dismiss her as just another failed assassin, hear me out. She actually kills the Grand Inquisitor, stabbing him and leaving him for dead. That shocking betrayal exposes how fractured the Inquisitor faction really is. Loyalty to Vader isn't absolute, and revenge can shatter the facade of unity. Her final attempt on Vader's life comes during 9 BBY, but Vader anticipates her move, impaling her with his lightsaber. She's left critically wounded, barely alive, and from then on, the Third Sister as an Inquisitor is effectively dead. Reva survives physically but renounces her dark side role, choosing not to kill young Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, despite Obi-Wan Kenobi urging her to stay on course. Her true death is the end of Reva Savander as an Imperial enforcer. What makes her fate especially compelling is its ambiguity. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series ends without revealing her death or final location. Did she vanish somewhere in the Outer Rim? Fade away on a forgotten planet? The mystery keeps fans debating, turning her into a rare Inquisitor who didn't just die, she escaped the Empire's system entirely. That moral rejection of her past sets her apart. Unlike ruthless killers who died in battle, Reva's end is a slow unraveling of her loyalties. She's victim and survivor, betrayer and betrayed. If internal backstabbing sounds wild, wait for the Grand Inquisitor's story. The Grand Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor was the ruthless head of the Imperial Inquisitorius during the Galactic Empire's early days, best known for hunting down Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger in Star Wars Rebels. He wasn't just any Inquisitor, he stood at the top, personally leading brutal Jedi purges under Darth Vader's direct oversight. His reign ended around 4 BBY aboard the Imperial Star Destroyer Sovereign. After a fierce duel with Kanan, the Grand Inquisitor was disarmed and trapped, facing not just defeat but the terrifying possibility of Vader's wrath. Instead of surrendering, he chose a very different exit, dropping into the reactor shaft, effectively committing suicide. Here's the thing, his death wasn't just about losing a fight, it's a brutal mix of pride and fear. Choosing death over Vader's punishment says a lot about the cruel power dynamics in the Sith ranks. This was a man so terrified of humiliation and torture, he took his own life, making Voldemort look like a teddy bear in comparison. It also shows the Sith's reputation for cruelty wasn't just for enemies. It instilled paralyzing fear even among their top enforcers. But his death wasn't isolated. It caused a massive leadership gap in the Inquisitorius. Without the Grand Inquisitor, the group quickly became unstable, allowing others like the fifth brother to rise but never really filling the void. This decline set the stage for the Inquisitorius' fall before the Galactic Civil War. In canon, the Grand Inquisitor's role and death are rock solid, well established in Rebels and broader lore. His fall isn't just a defeat, it's a symbol of pride and fear leading to a death chosen over dishonor. With him gone, the Inquisitorius was never the same. Next up, the fifth brother, whose fall further weakened Vader's hunt for Jedi. The fifth brother is the muscle of the Imperial Inquisitors, a brute force-focused hunter who met his end during the intense Malachor conflicts around 4 to 3 BBY in the Rebels era. Unlike some of his peers who rely on cunning or stealth, the fifth brother charges in headfirst, wielding overwhelming physical power to crush opponents. And it works, up to a point. But here's where it gets weird. In the chaotic battlefields of Malachor, raw strength isn't enough. The fifth brother's downfall happens during tightly coordinated fights featuring none other than Ahsoka, Kanan, Ezra, Maul, and the seventh sister. This isn't a fight where you can just smash through enemies. These Rebels and Darkside rivals use strategy, teamwork, and adaptability to pry open his defenses. Before you write him off as a simple brawler, consider the lore. Evidence of his death is scattered across Rebels-era compilations, though he rarely gets the narrative spotlight a Grand Inquisitor or Seventh Sister would command. His death feels more like part of a cluster of casualties that illustrate the crumbling strength of the Inquisitorius just before the rebellion truly rises. The fifth brother's ultimate failure reveals a key theme in the decline of the Imperial Jedi Hunters. Reliance on brute force alone can't match the wit and experience of veteran Jedi and their allies. The galaxy is changing, and the Inquisitors who don't evolve fast enough die messy, very public deaths. But if you think the fifth brother's demise is grim, wait until you hear about the seventh sister. Her story takes cunning and ruthless to a whole new level. Seventh Sister. The Seventh Sister isn't your typical Imperial Inquisitor, she's a Mirialan hunter with one ruthless mission, to capture Ahsoka Tano. But here's the twist, her end doesn't come from the Jedi she chases. Instead, she's killed by Maul on Malachor around 3 to 4 BBY, turning her story into a brutal irony of dark side rivalries. Before you shrug this off as another Hunter Falls to Jedi story, hear me out. The Seventh Sister's death shows how messy the dark side truly is during the Imperial era. It's not just Empire versus Jedi, it's a clash of competing dark powers. Maul, a rogue Sith with his own agenda, kills one of the Empire's top Jedi hunters, shaking up the balance. Her pursuit of Ahsoka wasn't just personal, it mirrored the Empire's fear of Ahsoka surviving the Clone Wars and inspiring rebellion. The Seventh Sister used cunning, psychological tactics, and droid surveillance, making her one of the smarter Inquisitors. She even teamed up with the fifth brother to hunt Force-sensitive kids and rebels, proving how far the Empire would go to crush threats. Then Malachor happened. On that ancient Sith world, Maul showed he didn't care for Empire or Jedi. Killing the Seventh Sister wasn't just about eliminating an enemy, it was a clear warning. Inquisitors could be hunted too. Losing her weakened the Empire's Jedi hunting force right when the Rebel Alliance was emerging. This is all backed up by Star Wars Rebels, where her chase and final death are clearly shown. The hunter became the hunted, but not by those she expected. If you think the Seventh Sister's fate is grim, wait until you hear how the Eighth Brother's story ends. Eighth Brother. The eighth brother is famous for one flashy and ultimately fatal move, using his spinning double-bladed lightsaber as a helicopter, exactly as wild as it sounds. Instead of just swinging or stabbing, he'd spin the blades like rotors, propelling himself through the air for sneak attacks or quick escapes. But here's the kicker. This tactic backfired spectacularly. Sent by Darth Vader to Malachor about 3 to 4 years before the Battle of Yavin, his mission was to capture the rogue Sith Maul. Malachor, steeped in dark side power, quickly became a battlefield of Jedi, Inquisitors, and tangled motives. The eighth brother fought stubborn rebels Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, and their unlikely ally Ahsoka Tano, all while hunting Maul. During the chaos, his spinning saber was damaged. Instead of ditching it or retreating safely, he doubled down, literally trying to fly using his broken helicopter saber. What could go wrong? Turns out everything. The saber's failure sent him tumbling off the edge of Malachor's Sith temple, falling to his death. Here's the thing, his death is a classic case of tech hubris. The gadget that made him unique also sealed his fate when overused and damaged. The flashy acolyte couldn't swallow his pride or choose a simpler escape. He gambled on a broken tool and lost. More than just a fatal stunt, his mission shows the Inquisitorius' complicated reach. They weren't just Jedi hunters, they tracked dangerous Force users stirring chaos. But relying so much on exotic tech revealed a critical weakness. When it breaks, so do they. His fall is well documented in Star Wars Rebels and official databanks, making it one of the clearest, most ironic Inquisitor deaths. At least he avoided the Fourth Sister's mess. Speaking of, let's move on. Fourth Sister. The fourth sister, Lyn Rakish, stands out among Imperial Inquisitors for her cold efficiency rather than mercy. Unlike the fake scene of her killing Barriss Offee, the canon shows they never directly confront each other. Lyn is a ruthless Jedi hunter without hesitation or remorse, embodying the unforgiving cruelty expected from the Inquisitorius. Before you chalk her up as just another faceless villain, hear me out. Lyn's psychological cracks come from other pressures, not moments of weakness in combat. Officially, her fate is left vague. She disappears sometime before the fall of the Empire, with no clear details on death or defection. Her story reveals the grinding mental toll the Inquisitors endure, forced to suppress every trace of compassion in service of a dark regime. That kind of emotional suppression is critical. Darth Vader and Palpatine would never tolerate any sign of softness. So Lyn's potential punishment or disappearance fits perfectly into that ruthless system. This cold, disciplined approach contrasts sharply with Barriss Offee's tragic fall. Lyn's role shows how the Inquisitors became hardened killers instead of conflicted souls, cutting down anyone standing in their way without hesitation. If you think cold-blooded efficiency is the whole story, just wait until we meet someone who never fully embraced the Inquisitors to begin with, Marrok. Marrok is one of the last known Imperial Inquisitors, a dark side enforcer who survives well into the New Republic era. His story stretches the Inquisitor legacy beyond the fall of the Empire, showing how those trained in ruthless Jedi hunting refuse to simply vanish. But here's where it gets weird. Marrok's death at the hands of Ahsoka on Cetos isn't just a lightsaber duel ending in a body drop. Instead, when she strikes him down, green gas escapes his form, suggesting Night Sister magic or some kind of possession. That's not your typical mortal death. Before you think this is just sci-fi smoke and mirrors, fans and lore experts alike have debated the meaning of that green mist. It hints that Marrok wasn't merely a mercenary with a lightsaber, but possibly a vessel or construct infused with ancient dark sorcery. Night Sisters are known for their potent, eerie magics, and Morgan Elsbeth's use of Marrok as an enforcer ties him directly to this mystical undercurrent. It blurs the lines between Force user, undead enforcer, and dark magic puppet. Marrok embodies the collapse of old Imperial structures into scattered, desperate remnants latching onto any power source they can find. His death symbolically closes the Inquisitor chapter in a galaxy trying to heal, but still haunted by dark, esoteric legacies. The green gas is like the last breath of an era that refuses to fully die, mixing Sith brutality with Night Sister witchcraft in a final chilling exhale. Unlike the high-profile, dramatic falls of earlier Inquisitors, Marrok's mysterious end signals something deeper and more unsettling. The Inquisitor's power didn't just vanish, it mutated. And that's a grim reminder. Even after the Empire's fall, the dark side's shadows linger in unexpected ways. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, click the video on the screen now.